So essentially, your highest self is the version of you that is unattached to society's expectations and is connected with your soul and your spirit level. You could call this something like being connected with source, but really when we say these things, connected with source, connected with your higher self, they really all kind of mean the same thing. They mean your connection through your avatar, through your 3D body, back up to where you essentially came from or what you ultimately are. And it means disconnecting or detaching from what other people who are all having their own individual experiences and what society is telling you or trying to influence you to do. So when we say connecting to your higher self, we basically mean getting back in touch with your true essence. So the first step, the first kind of way to connect to your higher self is to just get back into your intuition. No, not that. So the first step, the first way of connecting with your higher self is to actually set the intention and desire to change. You have to first decide that you actually want to change. And until you've decided that you want to change, nothing will happen. So this is where a lot of people go wrong. They say, I need to connect with my higher self. I want to, connect with source, become God realized or whatever terms they give it. But they don't truly want it. And without really wanting it and setting that strong intention, nothing's going to happen. It's like you've all been around that person who says, okay, when January comes around, I'm going to start, I'm going to join the gym, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to go, get healthy. And then by February, they've stopped. And it's usually because they didn't really want it. They didn't actually care that much. They just kind of wanted it. So you first really need to set the strong intention if you want to. And this is something that I can't force you to do. I can't make you want to do it. But if you do want to connect with your higher self, you have to really decide that you're going to do it. You can't just be kind of blown around like a feather. Like, oh, I kind of want it. And then, I'll try this, try a bit of meditating, but that's kind of hard. And then just give up. If you do that, it's not really going to happen. The second step is that you need to start practicing what I call 5D habits, or you might have heard these be described as the habits of higher beings, things that higher, more developed beings like 5D beings or above would typically do. So some of these habits will be things like be mindful of your breath and the way you're breathing, breathe deeply and fully and not in a shallow way up in your chest. Another one might be to trust yourself more, trust others more. Another 5D habit would be to really watch the thoughts that happen in your mind. Watch the way you talk about yourself and other people, especially yourself, because we are actually our biggest critic. So the things we say about ourselves inside our head usually is not positive things. So be really mindful of that, because a 5D being would essentially, they would not have that negative self. Be gentle with yourself, affirm the things you do want, and then stop focusing entirely on the things you don't want. This is a really big one. A 5D being or a more evolved or developed being would not focus on the things they don't want, because they understand that the nature of manifestation and reality is that what you focus on, you will get more of. So this is a recurring theme. You probably guessed on this channel. I constantly remind you about this. The things you focus on is what you'll get more of. So do the 5D thing and just focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want. So step number 3 is that once you've set your intention and you've started building up 5D habits, you need to actually, from an unattached space, right? So unattached to the outcome, even if nothing happens, you're still going to do this. You need to start taking action on the things that you can actually change. So and we're still talking about how to connect to your higher self, okay? Yes, there is some action involved. You need to think and intend something, and then you also need to do something. You can't just sit around waiting for 5D to roll up, or waiting for your higher self to just beam down a connection to your soul or whatever. You need to actually do something, okay? There's no free energy in this reality. You need to divert the energy that you are currently spending on, let's say, procrastinating, being negative, doing bad habits, let's say, thinking negative things. Divert that energy to what you want.